Welcome to Let's Talk in English. It's a beautiful day to learn some English. Hi everyone, my name is Peter, one of your teachers here on the show. Today's topic is time, and we are continuing the lesson called What's on Your Schedule? What's on your schedule? Okay, Katie, what happened yesterday?
Well, yesterday, Susie asked Alex if he had some time to help her with a report. And then Taylor was late to the studio, and Jim wasn't very happy. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie. I hope you're ready to learn a lot with us today.
All right, friends, turn to the right page of your magazine and read along with Katie.
Alex tells Rob about military time. They use a 24-hour clock. Rob thinks it's confusing. Alex thinks it's easier. He doesn't have to worry about AM and PM. Jim got mad at Taylor for being late. They almost missed an important deadline. The schedule has been tight this week. Rob is glad the weekend starts the day after tomorrow.
When you work at a TV station, things are always busy. People are trying to make their shows quickly.
At the station, you can't miss your deadline, so you have to work really fast.
That's right. That's why Jim got mad at Taylor yesterday. Like our Read It said, hopefully she isn't late again.
It's not good to be late. When you're late, people wait on you, and that makes them mad.
That's true. Friends, make sure you pay attention to our lesson. There are a lot of important things to learn about. Let's get started by learning our key words. Here's Christina.
今天的主题是时间。一开始 Alex 讲到军用时间，就是把下午2点讲成14点的说法。Rob 觉得这种时间的说法会让人搞不清楚，很困惑。It's confusing. 形容词 confusing 就是令人困惑的。Taylor 在工作的时候差点误事，所以 Jim 很生气。Jim was mad at Taylor. 形容词 mad 就是盛怒、很恼火的。就因为迟到，他们差点就没有在期限之前完成工作。最后期限就是 deadline. They almost missed the deadline. 这星期的工作表真的很紧凑。The schedule has been so tight. 形容词 tight 就是紧凑，没有空闲的。Rob 很庆幸后天就是周末了，后天就是 the day after tomorrow. The weekend starts the day after tomorrow.
What time are we recording, Alex?
At 13:30. I'll meet you in the studio.
13:30? What kind of time is that?
It's military time. It uses a 24-hour clock. Time goes from 00:00 to 23:59.
So, do you say things like 13 o'clock?
You can, but most people just say 1300.
Isn't that confusing?
No, it's easier. You don't have to worry about AM and PM.
In this conversation, Rob and Alex are talking about time. But Alex is telling Rob about a new kind of time.
Usually when you talk about time, you use the numbers 1 to 12. And if it's after midnight or in the morning, you say AM. If it's the afternoon or evening, you say PM.
Right. But today we are learning about military time. That's why Alex tells Rob he'll meet him in the studio at 13:30.
Military time uses the number 0 to 23 hours, 59 seconds. Then you don't worry about using AM or PM.
Right. People just know that if you say a number after 12, you are talking about the afternoon. So 13:30 is really 1:30 p.m. Or say it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Thanks, Peter. Friends, have you used this kind of time before? It can be a little confusing, so it's good to practice using it.
That's true. Let's talk about the word confusing. It's a key word today. Something confusing is hard to think about or do. Some people think math is confusing.
But what do you think is confusing? You can tell someone else about that right now.
And if you think something is confusing, you say you are confused about it. If you're confused, ask someone a question and get some help.
We don't want you to be confused when you're learning English, so that's why we're here to help you.
That's right. So let's talk about another word Rob uses in this conversation. Record. When you record, you make a video.
When Peter and I teach you, we are recording. A camera records us, and then you get to see the show.
And they do the same thing at the TV station. They record shows for people to see. They also record the news.
Well, everyone, it's time for us to find out some more in the next conversation.
It's been a hard day.
Why has it been a hard day?
Jim got mad at me. I was late getting to the studio.
Everyone is late sometimes.
I know, but Jim and I had an important deadline, and because of me, we almost didn't make it.
But you did make it.
Yes, and I won't be late ever again. I've learned my lesson.
If you saw yesterday's show, you know that Jim got mad at Taylor. Do you remember why?
Oh, I do. She was late getting to the studio. Remember, they only had the TV studio until 2:30. So they had to hurry and finish their work.
And because Taylor was late getting to the studio, they almost missed their deadline. That would have been a big problem. But let's talk about a new English phrase with Christina right now.
Taylor 要去摄影棚 studio 工作，可是他却迟到了。他说 I was late getting to the studio。片语 get to some place 就是到达某个地方，所以 Taylor was late getting to the studio。如果你要做某件事，可是却迟到了，就可以用这个句型 I was late doing something。我们来练习一下 I was late going home last night。我昨晚回家晚了。He was late paying his rent。他租金迟缴了。
Thank you, Christina. When you are late doing something, that can cause some problems. Taylor was late getting to the studio, and they almost missed their deadline.
But let's talk about the key word deadline. Your deadline is the day that you have to finish something. Sometimes teachers will tell you to write a paper, and they give you a deadline.
That deadline is the day you should turn in the paper. But at work, you also have deadlines. If you have projects to do, your boss will tell you your deadline.
So you have to finish your work by that deadline. And when you work at a TV station, you have a lot of deadlines every day. You make a show every day by a certain time.
Right. And if you don't make it, you can be in a lot of trouble.
Make it? What do you mean, Peter?
Oh, sorry, everyone. When you make a deadline, that means you finish what you have to do, and it is on time. You're not late.
So if you're late finishing your work, we say that you have missed a deadline. And what happens if you miss a deadline?
Well, then you might get into trouble. That isn't good. So Taylor and Jim almost missed their deadline, but they made it in the end.
But I think it's been a hard day for Taylor because she's been worried about all of this.
You're right. So, friends, make sure that you make your deadlines. But now I think it's time that we take a short break. We'll be back after this.